Right, and if you watched the coming attractions, which I never do and made the mistake of, there's Borg in that coming attractions.
Yes. Did you see Locutus, or do you think that was Hugh?
No, I think it was Locutus, but it could be a dream.
Yeah. See, the thing with the face and...
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing with the face and the eye and the nose. And the...
It's all coming full circle. Whoa, it's so good.
I really enjoyed this episode. And there's so much to talk about. Like, it's ridiculous how much there was to talk about with this episode. Like, some things I even missed.
Did you happen to watch the Ready Room?
I did not.
Okay. That, listeners, if you haven't, it's very good. Will Wheaton does a great job, way better than Matt Mira did on After Trek. And Hannah Lee Culpepper, who we interviewed on The Edge, was on and talked about, her direction and the theme, sort of her taking this new series. I mean, she directed the first 2 episodes of the series, and how the tone that she was able to set the tone and, sort of get this series going, I think really added to my understanding of what directors do and how this is so different than Discovery.
That's pretty cool. I never watched those things, but hearing Will Wheaton was on it, I said I was going to try, but we went over my schedule earlier. Yeah. And I just didn't have time to.
Yeah, it was only like 20, it was a short one. But yeah, Jeff Russo, they had a little thing about his music and what I loved. So listeners, if you already saw it, you'll fast forward, but I'm going to tell Pat because he hasn't seen it. So Jeff Russo was explaining sort of his idea of the theme that he came up with and how it starts with this Ressican flute, and I use air quotes because we know it's not Ressican, but it's the piccolo. But he starts with that to bring in, the feeling of inner light and that Ressican flute that Picard plays. And then it moves more fully into the string section and builds, and then we get the theme, but then it still ends with the Ressican flute, again, just sort of encompassing everything that this is Picard. And I love that explanation and made me love the theme even more.
That's pretty cool because, I didn't hear that. And now I have to listen more to hear all the different parts of that.
Yes.
But so I'll definitely do that next time. And I am going to try and catch them, especially if they're only 20 minutes. That's great.
They're real short.
I remember the first show that I watched that really did that was Sons of Anarchy, and they were an hour long.
Yeah.
With just the director or the showrunner, and I don't know.
Yeah, the After Trek ones were really long too, and Matt Mira was annoying. So
I don't know anything about him, so I can't say that.
It did get better, listeners. I know I'm ragging on Matt Mira a lot, but he did get better, and I started watching them more consistently. But the first one turned me off, and I didn't watch till the very end.
Yeah, I didn't watch them at all. I just don't watch them.
Yeah.
I don't like anything that might spoil something.
Mm-hmm.
I usually, plus with podcasting, one of the things I try and do is I try not to get on social media and talk about the shows. I try not to listen to extra things or hear other people's opinions.
Or read their blogs. And
Right, because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, what you read is going to somewhat change your opinion of what you saw.
Agreed.
And I want this podcast at least to be my opinion, and then I can backtrack on all of it later when I'm wrong. But at least let me be wrong with my thoughts and not someone else's.
Right, yeah.
So.
Agreed.
But.
Well, we certainly have...
I got one more thing. Yeah, so what'd you think of the fact that you could actually find one positronic neuron and bring back data?
Yeah, that was... I tried watching that, and it was so difficult for me to understand what they were trying to get at that I didn't get it. So explain it to me more.
Somewhat recently, in science, there's become more and more of a belief that everything that makes Amy who Amy is can be boiled down into one cell, and you can take Amy and put her anywhere type deal, so that you only need one cell mitochondrial
like a stem
DNA.
cell type of thing.
Yeah, because mitochondrial
idea.
DNA keeps everything.
Right.
So they're saying you could do the same thing with a positronic network or a positronic brain because they open up with, oh, there's B4, look, and you pull it out, and it's all in pieces. And we know that the one thing they did at the end of Nemesis to try and make us happy was they downloaded data into B4. And the first thing they did here was tell us, well, that was useless because we lost all the data.
Thankfully.
So, except that if you go on to Star Trek, the MMO, the video game, the online game, data exists there. And the explanation we were given was, we took it out of B4. So, this show just wiped out all that. I understand that that's not canon, but
right, yeah.
people were using it to fill in gaps.
Right.
Which now you can't use that part to fill in the gap.
Right.
So all the times I told people, no, Data's still alive. He's in the game. Don't worry about it. That's meaningless. But they can still end up at that same conclusion because all you need is one memory from B4 to have existed for all the memories to still be there to bring Data back.
Well, that will be interesting. Do you think that they will do that?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want them to.
Yeah, do you want them to was my next question.
I don't know. I don't want to not have a Data, but we already don't have a Data.
I know.
And I'd be really, really, really hypocritical of me right now to say that I want Data back when I screamed and yelled about it on the edge for Discovery.
Yeah.
But all fans are hypocritical to some degree. So there's a lot of people who like things about this that they would never have admitted for Discovery.
Yeah.
So, because I'll tell you this right now, this is going to be a way more action-packed show than TNG was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can tell that in the coming attractions, too. There's going to be a lot of fistfights.
Yeah. So you were talking about Discovery, and I've sort of brought it up here and there. And we've done The Edge. We did season 2 together. And I've done season 1 and season 2 and postcards for season 1 and season 2. And watching this one episode, I already like Picard way better than Discovery. And I feel bad for saying that because of all the time and energy that I put into Discovery. But I say it only because I've had the chance to sort of compare and contrast, in part because I have a friend who is recently getting into Star Trek, thanks to me. And so he's watching Discovery. He's never seen
Why'd
it.
you do it to that poor guy?
Oh.
There's so many hours of his life he just lost. He doesn't even know it yet.
So he's going through, and so he has gone through both seasons, and it's been so fun because he's like, oh, I really like Lorca. What? Lorca's a bad guy? And, so I'm like reliving all of the fandom and all of the questions and comments and concerns that I've, read on postcards. And then he gets to season 2 and, oh, who's the Red Angel? And the big debate and question, And so, like, I've had those memories and the feelings as he's been watching Discovery and then seeing Picard. And I just love Picard a little bit more. And I'm wondering, is that just because of all the nostalgia, like you said, the fan service, and I'm a TNG girl? Like, has that tainted it? Or is this just really that much better than Discovery?
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Okay.
It most certainly could be tainted because you're a TNG girl and because it's Picard. And it could also be completely valid that this is a better show. I'm not ready to say that after one episode.
Yeah.
They can turn around next episode and completely screw this all up. I mean, Discovery's had 2 seasons to ruin itself. Picard's only had 1 episode. So, take it for what it is. I understand in this day and age, we'd like decide what's the greatest on a whim, but it's been 1 episode. It was a great episode. I don't see it going bad. That doesn't mean it won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember getting on Live with the Edge after episode 1, and everyone thought I was crazy when I had a few problems with that episode. And then everyone seemed to have very similar problems moving forward in the show. But because it was the first show back in X amount of years, it was going to be great to a great many people no matter what.
Yeah.
So this is the first Picard show in... I can't do that math at this time. It's midnight. But it's been a long time since we had a show with Picard in it. And so, yeah, of course we all love it.
Yeah.
They would have had to really, really, really screw this one up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, Picard would have to be like a really old man and not able to walk or something and look just like Professor X in order for them to screw this up. It's bad enough for us to hate it.
Right, yeah. So, very good. We've sort of dispersed our favorite moments throughout.
Yeah, we did.
Do you have any others?
Of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike anything.
Yeah, it was really good. I agree. And yeah, I'm sure I've said it, listeners, if you counted. Well, that was my favorite scene. That was such a good scene. Yeah, they all were. They all were.
No, it worked out perfectly. It was as if they started with a story and they played out the story.
Yeah,
it's not that complicated. I mean,
and
not that I could write a TV show, but
so again, comparing and contrasting with Discovery, it doesn't seem that it's going to be this entire galaxy is going to explode and that Picard's going to save the day. I don't see that. I see these as, here's an issue, let's take care of this. Here's a mystery, let's take care of it. Whereas, like, for example, the Red Angel, like, that was crazy.
Yes, but we have, okay, yes. However, we do have who is the father and mother to these twins that now is down to one. We do have a war with the synths coming again. We do have the Borg showing up. I'm positive of this.
Yes.
Then trying to figure out, I mean, so we're still going to have this massive world galaxy war thing go on at some point in this show. So there will be an end of the universe type scenario somewhere.
Oh, darn it.
It will. That's just TV making today.
Yeah, I guess it is today. I recently watched The Most Toys in prep for an episode of Earl Grey. And, like, it was a great story. And the world wasn't going to come to an end, but it was still a great story, you know? And it's like, why is it that everything has to be this extreme, you know?
Because
you're right.
It has to last 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think they could back off it a little bit in this series because your main character is Picard.
Right.
You don't need the stakes so high to care when your main character is Picard.
Yep.
When your main character is not the captain of the ship, you need the stakes to be higher because otherwise, why isn't the captain taking care of it?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
If you need someone that's fourth in line to do something amazing, then it has to be that big of a deal. Otherwise, the captain should take care of it, or they should send some peon to go take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be in the middle there, which I've said a million times and most people disagree with me on. But I still stand by that statement.
All right. Well, please join us on our Facebook page, UFP Earth, where we would love to hear what you thought of this episode. Please let us know. So, Pat, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me. Oh, man, I haven't done this in a while now. You can find me on Twitter at MagicDrop5. There's no spaces, and the 5 is the digit. You can also find me on Twitch under the same handle. You can find me on this network with my good friend Tribs on Mickey's Marvels with some special guest stars coming up soon, or guest hosts coming up soon. And on the UFP page if you comment on our episodes.
Yeah.
So, Amy, where can people find you when you're not gallivanting around the galaxy looking for a twin?
That'd be so cool. I'm an only child. Well, you can now find me on the UFP page on Facebook. I have now just been granted
permission,
rights to see everything, and but okay, listeners, will you test this out? Will you comment and see if you can tag me on the UFP Earth, and so that I will for sure see your comment? We're having some technical difficulties where people say that they tag me and it doesn't show up on my Facebook page. So, but I am there. You can find me there. You can find me over on Trek FM, where I am still talking about The Next Generation on Earl Grey, and that is a podcast that's specifically about The Next Generation. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. please go to iTunes and leave us a star rating and written review. That will help others find our podcast and let us know what you want more of and what you want less of.